Hey guys, welcome back to another video, and today we're going to be talking about the midfielders in FPL for the 1920 season. Obviously this year we've seen that Salah and Sterling seem to be the two front runners at the moment in terms of the midfielders role, and their prices take up a big portion of the budget. So I'll be talking about not only the premium assets that are 8 million and above, but also those below that that could be good, cheaper enablers to put into your FPL squads. So we're going to kick off this video with 4 premium assets you should definitely consider putting into your FPL teams. So we have Salah, Sterling, Mane and Sigurdsson, and I think these guys are all absolute necessities for your FPL teams. If we look at the stats from last season, Salah obviously ended with the most points, 259 with 22 goals, 12 assists. Sterling seems to be the more team player because he got 15 assists and 17 goals. But Mane, with the stats from last season, he definitely outperformed himself, notching up a lot of goals. Sigurdsson's pretty in there because I think he's been a bit lackluster the last couple of seasons, and I think now he can finally find himself in the Everton squad. He'll be on set pieces, he'll be on penalties, free kicks, depending on what happens with Luka Dean, obviously, whether he can secure the set piece duties completely from Sigurdsson is to find out. But yeah, I think out of those 4 midfielders, you should definitely own at least Sterling and one of Mane or Salah, depending on your budget. Salah will be on penalties, so I don't think Milner will get the minutes this season. And Sigurdsson, he's 8 million. He's a good price. He's a good price to have for your teams, and he's definitely one worth considering. So I've also picked 4 other premium assets who I think should definitely be considered that aren't so much in the main frame of things. So we have Heung-min Son, Richarlison, Pogba, and Kevin De Bruyne. Now, I think with these guys, particularly Son, because he won't be there because he's got suspension for the first 2 games, Richarlison and De Bruyne definitely be considered. Pogba might leave United, so we don't know whether he'll be in the team. But if we look at the stats from last season, Pogba did very well. Obviously, he had set pieces with the penalties, which is the big function of his goals. And if he does stay, VAR could be absolutely brilliant for him. Son was very much in and out of the Tottenham side. I don't know if he would be a guarantee every single week. But obviously there's a rotation with Lucas Moura, and with Kane being fully fitted back up front again, Son will probably drop back if we decide to play 4-2-3-1. But De Bruyne, he's the one out of those 4 that interests me the most. I think obviously last season he had an injury-ridden season, but when he came back, he was returning points like he never left. Bonus point magnet as well. I mean, he would get like 1 assist and still get 3 bonus points. So at 9.5 million, he could be a cheaper route into the City midfield, because obviously Pep will have the rotation with Sterling, Sane up front, and Bernardo Silva, another player who's not on this list, but he could be on there as well. Could play up. Whereas De Bruyne, I think in that midfield 3, where there's Fernandinho, Rodri, there's Gundogan, but De Bruyne is the one creative spark. And depending on what team City play against, he could be one to look for. Okay, so then we come to the options below 8 million, who I think are definite essentials for the start of the season. Most notably, I think Ryan Fraser. He offers, I think, the best option, 7.5 million. Last season, although sometimes he was going to be a bit more explosive than consistent, he still racked up 181 points, which is the most out of anyone on this list, and 14 assists. So I think he's definitely one to consider. If you can't afford him, David Brooks could be the better option. But I think alongside Maddison as well, who I think this season with Brendan Rodgers, he will actually become a bigger factor. I think Claude Puel kind of suppressed him. Brendan Rodgers could allow him to play off Vardy, and especially with the likes of Ayoze Perez, Barnes, Gray, Tielemans. There's so many different options. Felipe Anderson, there's been a lot of videos on social media that look quite good of Felipe Anderson in training, and I think if obviously Arnautovic, time of recording, has left West Ham, so if they can get a good striker that Felipe Anderson can give assists to, or can supply goals for West Ham as well, then that would improve his value even more. Zaha at the bottom of the list, he again got the most goals out of all these guys on the list, but I think it's whether he stays at Palace or goes to another club. He said he wants to go to a North London club, but Arsenal failed in their bid, because he's obviously 11 assists. He wins so many penalties. Obviously Milivojevic, a great penalty taker, and converts them. So whether he can become even better the next season, I'm not sure yet. I think being classed as a midfielder is definitely going to boost his potential, and he's got some nice opening fixtures as well, so he's definitely one to consider. But I think of the pick of the bunch for me would be James Maddison. I think he'll become even more important for Leicester this year. Then we have some more left field choices, other ones to consider for your FPL teams of the lower price range. David Brooks, I'm a big fan of him. I think last season he had injuries which kept him from being even better than what he did. Obviously he got 13 goal involvements last season, which is very good. And I think Bournemouth are so attacking with King, Wilson, Fraser, Brooks. They could definitely push even more, and I think Brooks is a 6.5, a good price as well. Callum Hudson-Odoi, Lampard's coming to Chelsea, and he said that he's looking to play younger talent. And I think obviously Hudson-Odoi, he's going to probably miss the start of the season with his injury, but he could come in very soon at 6 million, an absolute steal. He didn't get enough time under Sarri to really prove himself. Pascal Gross, again, of the 2017-18 season, was an absolutely brilliant asset. Injuries last year limited his potential, but I think with Potter coming in, he could definitely become brilliant again. Set pieces, free kicks, corners a lot. I think even when Glenn Murray's on the pitch, he has penalties as well. He's definitely to look at, but I think in this list, Ayoze Perez is the guy that I would look at. I think 6.5 million. He's now at Leicester. And if Rodgers does play him in a very attacking side, they got a mixed bunch of fixtures, but I think they can beat anyone. He could be someone to look at. A good strong finish to the end of last season, and obviously no football over the summer, so he's rested up, so he's definitely one to consider. So yeah, that's everything for the midfielder analysis. Obviously there's so many more players I could talk about, but I thought I'd focus on 8 players for this moment. Make sure to follow me on Twitter, CaptainFPL1, and subscribe to the channel as well. I'm going to grow it and produce much more videos at FPL wise, and we're going to keep doing podcasts with FPL discussion as well. So yeah, keep tuned, and I'll catch you later.